outcome is going to be if you hanging around millionaires every day. Now, what do you think the outcome is going to be? You hanging around criminals, you hanging around low-level people. And nothing against drug dealers and criminals, because these are some of my friends. If people calling me every day about new scams and new jugs and shit like that, then that's going to be my universe. That's going to be what's in my mind all the time. I don't want to hear that shit no more. I want to hear about legit shit. I want to hear about 7 figures, the legit way, how you got it out the mud. I'm switching my circle up, not changing my friends. I'm just switching the circle that I'm surrounded by. So I don't want to hear that low energy shit. I want to hear high energy, high level, high minded shit.
What do you say to people that say you turned your back on your culture or
exactly 100%? I have turned my back on the idea of victimization mentality. We are locked up. We went from 1 and 4. We went from 1 and 4 to 1 and 3, but we always pointing at the white people, but yet we want to spend all of our money on foreigns. We want to spend all our money on luxury as opposed to going and buying some land. America is for sale, and there's a lot of barren land. Disney bought a lot of it in Florida, but the culture has you focused so much on fucking somebody bitch and pulling up in a foreign and rapping about things that could get you locked up and then saying you about prison reform. Like, it's, bro, we brainwashed out here, bro.
But I'm not crying because I regret leaving. I'm really not. I would have regretted staying because he's moving me. And when he calls, I'm going to follow. I don't care where he leads. I don't care if it's in the middle of Timbuktu somewhere, living off of a couple pennies and a dime for the rest of my life with my family doing missionary work. I don't care where it is. I would leave all of this behind. And I've just made it to this point in my life now. I've just made it here during this quarantine. Everything that I learned and everything that he taught me and all of the spiritual journeys he led me on. It brought me to this decision. And I'm sorry if you guys are sad. I know it's a lot to take in. But just know,
what's the difference between cocky and confidence? It's not bragging if it's true. If you're a winner, you're a winner. It's not bragging. The difference between cocky and confidence, I look at it, you can be cocky when you have the confidence that you know you're going to put the work in to get it done. There's one thing to sit around and talk about something and you don't have the work, the hashtag show your work, you don't have the receipts, you don't have the numbers, you don't have the facts, you don't have the data, you just have the belief in yourself. Well, I'm still a proponent for that because here's the thing. Only you know whether or not you're going to do the work. But if you can say you're going to do great things, you're going to be great because you know that you're going to do the work, then do it. Say it. Say it and make it and put the pressure on yourself. Put the pressure on yourself to hold yourself accountable. So when you do make the result, when you accomplish what it is you say you're going to accomplish, nobody can say anything other than he may be arrogant, he may be cocky, he may be this. Yeah, but he also got it done. He delivered.
Everyone who knows Jesus must confess Jesus. Everyone who knows the Christ must confess the Christ. You cannot keep your belief a secret. And if you keep your belief a secret, wanting favor with the world, then all right. You have chosen to see your brother and sister without knowledge, dying in ignorance, being manipulated in their ignorance by the accursed Satan, and you would not intervene? You see your friend is dying from drugs and dying from a life that is encouraged by Satan, and you would not, in a skillful way, tell them the time and what must be done and encourage them in truth and the doing of good.
Now, everybody engaged in capitalism knows that the motto is win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. And what I'm trying to explain to you, ladies and gentlemen, is the real world that our children live in, not the ideal one that we want them to live in, not this wonderful world that we pray that will come here one day, but the real world that they have to live in. You want to know why they're acting so crazy? You want to know why they're doing the things that they're doing? Because we have not prepared them to live in this real world. We have sent them through 12 years of school teaching them this dumb stuff that doesn't work, and when they go out and try to apply it and get killed for it, we are not there to help them through. All right. We are not there. We fade away on them. Somewhere around about 9th grade, we start talking about I can't control them. I can't do nothing with it. Get out of my house if you don't do what I tell you to do. And we abandon them to the mean streets and then cry because they give mercy. Capitalism is not compatible with equality. It is not compatible with equity. It is not compatible with Christianity, no matter how hard we try. The struggle for survival in the United States is the handling of this never-ending tension between the institutional values of race, gender, and wealth, which give undue and unearned privileges and advantages to some so that others cannot compete on an equal basis for the resources of this country. All right. This is the game. This is the game, ladies and gentlemen. As Alton told you, politics is the management of the conflict which occurs when groups war over the resources. Resources include money, land, right? So politics is just the passing around of the resources. If you don't have the resources, as Alton told you, you're not in the game. Black people just don't get it. All right. We just don't get it.
Salute, and welcome to class, guys. Welcome to class, gang, yo. We got ourselves a good one. I'm sorry I'm late, guys. But in any event, I'm here. Hit that like button. That's how you pay your school tuition. That's also how you tip your teacher, bro. That's how you tip your teacher, bro. I don't eat apples, but I eat like buttons. All right, guys, keep in mind that we don't cater to any groups, gangs, communities, religions, feelings, or emotions. We cater to the truth. We cater to common sense. And we do not complicate it, guys. So, we back for yet another class, guys. We back for another class. And, all we do over here is critically think. So, guys, I'm going to need you guys to really put your critically thinking caps on today. This is one of my favorite subjects, guys. The illusion of entertainment, the chaotic function with democracy. You know what I mean? We all know that democracy is chaos. I mean, and this is why our fellow modern women and simps, they love Democrats, they love democracy, because you get to make it up as you go. you get to really believe that you are in control of your own destiny. It's an illusion. And it's a slap in the face to any of the believers, yo. Now we got black folks running around talking about, yeah, because we're the real Jews. It's funny how black folks, we know how to dig in that Bible. We know how to cherry pick in that Bible and make shit fit to our feelings and how we need it to appeal to us, right? Do you know who are the Jews in the Bible, guys? The Jews are the smart people. The smart people are the knowledgeably rich, right? Those are the knowledgeably rich. See, y'all run around here associating everything with money. So because the Jews in actuality have the money because they know how to hold it down. They know how not to be crabbing the barrels to one another, unlike us in the black community. You know what I mean? So now we want to say we the Jews. No. The Jews are the believers. If you believe, then you can be any color you want. You're a Jew. If you're a believer, then you're a Jew. All right? So don't go running around here believing this dumb shit. Because I tell you, and this is why we're here today. Too much fake history. And they love it. The people in our community love fake history because it caters and it panders to their feelings, guys. And that's how they manipulate. That's how they are manipulated. So today's going to be one of those real good test days, guys. Y'all know how we do over here. I'm all about the mind control. I'm all about clearing your thoughts and you thinking for yourself. I don't want you knowing what to think. I want you to learn and know how to think. And that's what we come here to do today, guys. So I don't think we should have anybody that needs to get escorted to the locker rooms today, guys, because today is all on you. You know what I mean? Either you want to know, either you want to be enriched with knowledge, or you don't. And it pretty much come down to that in life. In life, it come down to that. Do you want to be educated, or do you want to be entertained with the foolishness? You know what I mean? Because our history was made by Hollywood. Hollywood is a huge chunk of black history. For those of you that want to live in this worldly world, because for those of my MGTOW brothers that done went the other way and changed the laws of their mind, we already know better. We know better. You know what I mean? Again, guys, let's go over our verse. Our MGTOW verse, for those of you that's new to the channel, guys, it's a MGTOW Red Pill channel. You know what I mean? Where we discuss biblical red pill truths. You know what I mean? We don't only slam mothers and modern women. You know what I mean? We talk about simps. We talk about beta males as well. Yes, we focus in on the mothers, the hell of the ones. But we talk about all bad behavior over here, guys. And that's because we know that Romans 12:2, do not conform to the ways of the world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. There go that line right there, that famous quote that Mr. Palmer, he coined, change the laws of your mind. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. Plain and simple. You know what I mean? Now, if you complicate that, that's on your own. You know what I mean? I understand that a lot of people is making money off these red pill teachings in the Bible. You know what I mean? So what I say might not fit what your other favorite content creators say, because he ain't trying to give you the raw, gray area removed. You know what I mean? Because it don't fit. It's not appealing. They say you're not supposed to get on here and talk this shit, this real shit, and give you guys the truth about your father, about your creator. You know, because so many people do it, and they do it from a wicked mindset and from a wicked place that it come off as prosperity. But it ain't. No. No, that's not what we do over here. I'm just a messenger. And not only am I a messenger, I'm a deliverer of truth. So I could bring you to the water. My job is to bring you to the water. I ain't never gonna be able to force you to drink. You know what I mean? Now I could bring you to the water. And once I bring you to the water, my job done. God gonna give me a blessing. Now, how you gonna get your blessing? You know what I mean? So I don't play this bullshit. I know everybody like to talk that bullshit. We know prosperity from inspiration, motivation. We know the difference. You know what I mean? We critically think. You know what I mean? But yeah, that Bible is the basic instructions before leaving Earth, guys. Stop running around here with these history books. Stop running around here believing what your teacher told you. All right? So let's kickstart the day off. Let's get right into some action. You know what I mean? You know how we do about this time. I want to break down democracy, guys. I want you to understand. This channel is designed to make you aware of democracy and modern women. When you put democracy with modern women, you get gynocracy. Welcome to Gyno land, guys, because that's where we at. We're in a Gyno land. We're definitely not in what God created. You know what I mean? This shit has been manipulated for everybody else's benefit, but the real men's benefit. The men that really created it from the jump, we don't get no benefit out this motherfucker. But everybody else that felt that deemed they needed to manipulate it, they benefit. Peep game, guys. Peep game. All right? Okay, Izzy, what's good, my guy? What's going on, the Dean? All right, guys, so this is 3 times that Satan used democracy to revolt against God. Now, I want you to peep game. Again, guys, keep in mind, I'm not here to push nothing on you. I'm just here to deliver the truth. I'm here to bring you to the water. Whether you see it or not, my job is done. All right, guys, so let's go on and get into this content. Salute to the chat. Got the realest chat on YouTube. We growing. You know what I mean? Like, share the video, guys. You know what I mean? Show your boy some support. Y'all know where the real is at. The truth with proof, man. You know what I mean? I'm swaggy, I'm cocky, I'm arrogant, and I'm dead ass real. What happened? What happened? You know what I mean? And I need y'all to take that swag on so that these people in this worldly world stop playing with y'all and stop trying to manipulate y'all. People don't even try to manipulate me, guys. Where you going? Where you going? You know what I mean? And that's what we gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do over here, guys. Because we Urshas. And salute the XL Pro. Because we Urshas. All day. We Urshas, guys. Word. Let's check this out, man. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, YouTube. I know how y'all get when I start talking, when I give the people the absolute truth. I know how y'all do.
Democracy that we have created, which serves man, in which man is the king, in which man is the ruler, in which man makes the rules, in which man pays no attention to what God's will is, but instead says, the majority of men say this, and so let it be done. Democracy dethrones God's will.
And that's a fact, guys. Remember in that garden when Lilith or Lucifer, whatever story you want to believe, ran down on Eve and passed her that apple. What did he tell her? You want to be better than God? Eat this apple. Democracy tells the people that. That's exactly what democracy tells the people. You know what I mean?
Man pays no attention to what God's will is, but instead says, the majority of men say this, and so let it be done. Democracy dethrones God's will, and it enthrones man's will. America is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Democracy has endued men with the sovereignty that they have always desired. Man.
And that's funny to me because this same Constitution don't say shit about democracy. Last time I checked, for now and forever, our Constitution reads, to which it stands, under the republic, by one, wait, what it says, republic, to the republic, by which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Nowhere did I read a democracy. Now, I mean, nowhere did I read this is supposed to be a democracy, because it's not. It's supposed to be a patriarch. You know what I mean? God, man, woman, child. Not no government. Government, man, woman, child. And that's not even their order. Their order is government, woman. You know what I mean? Because the woman is God in democracy. Peep game.
has always desired to be his own ruler ever since the very beginning of time in the Garden of Eden. He desired to rule himself. This new order of the ages allows man to rule himself. He becomes ruler in democracy. We have seen democracy wreak its havoc, not just across the world, but we've seen it wreak havoc in the Bible. There were 3 times that Satan used democracy specifically to revolt against God. This is a mode of operation that Satan uses. It has been ascribed to God that God wants sinful man to be his own king, that God wants sinful man to be his own ruler. That's what we have heard from the pulpits of this country from the very beginning. In the very beginning of the country, the pulpits told us to kill our Christian brothers for these new rights. When you read about this time in the 18th century, as America was being founded, the majority of men could not stomach the idea of picking up a gun and shooting their brother for democracy or for rights. But it was the pulpits, as usual, who promoted the idea that it was good for them to do this. And so brother killed Christian brother in the revolution. Brother killed Christian brother in the Civil War, all with the blessing of the pulpit. Satan is in America's pulpits. 3 times Satan used democracy to revolt against God. Number 1, when Satan led a rebellion against God in heaven amongst the angels. He defied God's monarchy. This is Satan's hallmark. He is a rebel. He is rebellious. He desires to overthrow the king. That has been his mode of operation since the very
Guys, that's exactly what Lilith is out here doing, guys. That's exactly what the modern woman Lilith is out here doing. And their desire to overthrow man and to overthrow the 4 fathers and make it 4 sisters. They want it to be 4 sisters. They don't want the 4 fathers. They don't want the cloth and very fabric that America and this world is made off of to be that. They want to take the position as God. As God. Peep game, guys.
very beginning. 3 times Satan used democracy to revolt against God. Number 1, when Satan led a rebellion against God in heaven amongst the angels, giving them liberty to choose who they wanted their ruler to be. We see democracy again whenever Satan shows up in the Garden of Eden and he encourages rebellion against the king within the woman, telling her, you don't have to listen to what the king says.
Exactly, guys. Look what the governmental programs and the governmental assistance did. It instantly split the family apart, because once you push your little government packages at the woman, they feel they don't need a man. That's what happened. Ain't this what happened? Look, guys, this is how democracy used to attack our people, yo. So the first time was when Satan led a rebellion against God in heaven amongst the angels. The first time was when he tried to say, yo, listen, I think I'm better than you. And we know this is the crab in the barrel mentality in the community. I'm better than you. I ain't got to listen to you. I ain't got to get the information from you. Even though you winning, I'm going to go get the wrong information and still try to compete with you. This is the whole mindset of the black community. And it's sickening. Then you got number 2, guys, when Satan encouraged the rebellion against God in the Garden of Eden. Again, you see that. He pushed that apple. She pushed that apple to the girl, telling the girl, yo, you could be better than God. You could be better than man. And that's why the girl ate the apple, bro. This is why everybody running around here with the know-it-all disease. Because it's the apple we ate. We ate from the tree of knowledge. This is why knowledge is the fundamental root on your way out of here. You know what I mean? And again, this is why I say the Jews are the believers, because the believers are inherited the knowledge. We have the knowledge. And what we gonna do is we gonna give this knowledge to our offspring, to our little kids and the next generation, and voila, boom, the meek shall inherit the earth. That's how that works in that order. So you run around here thinking you're gonna be poor and the poor gonna inherit the earth. Ain't got a goddamn thing to do with poor, with poverty. It got more to do with knowledge and wisdom and being rich in that area and passing that to the next generation. Oh yeah, so that they can inherit the earth. Don't be greedy.
You don't have to obey the king. You can do your own thing. You can have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without him, which is exactly, by the way, what America is today. If you are an atheist, you are given the rights, the God-given rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Everybody, you can identify as whatever you want and push that shit and they'll back it. As long as you don't identify as a straight heterosexual male that don't want to shoot your brothers and that don't want to suck D. You know what I mean? If you identify as that, then they gonna get you. They gonna cancel you. They're gonna turn you into a little girl. They're gonna come at you. They ain't gonna like you, and that's what it is. We have no power in this democracy. Us, the ones with some sense, ain't got no say in a democracy. It's ruled by the majority. So that means the majority could be straight assholes, straight dummies, but because they're the majority and they're the winning vote, that's what we got to do. I ain't going, guys. Romans 12:2, MGTOW, do not conform.
You can worship any God and receive God's liberty given to us through the Revolutionary War. Where is the discernment among Christians today? How is this possible that we could believe such an obvious heretical lie? That we could have any kind of freedom or liberty apart from God? That Christ laid down his life for us? That is the only kind of freedom that exists in this world? There is no other freedom. The Bible tells us that we are slaves in sin. A nation can call you free, but that means nothing. You will still die without Christ, even if a nation deems you free. It is a false promise. It's almost a cruel joke to tell the atheist or the person who worships any god of his choosing that somehow he has liberty and freedom.
And that's the illusion. That's the illusion that you guys are in. That's the illusion that a lot of our brothers and sisters is in right there. That illusion right there. It makes you feel like you're a victim, but you're really not.
To do that, he is a slave. That is the gospel. The third time that Satan uses democracy in revolt against God appears at the time that Jesus is standing before the Jewish mob. And democracy is deployed right then. Let's see a show of hands. Who should we release? Pilate asks. Barabbas, who wants to take the sword to take his country back for God, or Jesus, who is willing to lay down his life? And of course, through democracy, the Jewish mob selects the wrong guy. Through democracy, we will always choose the wrong thing. Man's heart is wicked, and therefore he cannot will the good.
Exactly. And we already seen it. Every time we get a Democrat in the seat, they fuck the shit up, bro. You know what I mean? Literally. Peel back. Go back to the old. Let's go to Obama. Let's go to Obama now. Let's go to Obama. Oh, yeah. I know y'all. Let's go to Obama. Y'all see who on the thumbnail? That was the first Obama right there. Abe Lincoln. Honest Abe. Who wasn't so honest, though. But let's talk about Obama, yo. You know what I mean? We always picking the wrong Democrat. We always picking the wrong one, period. But why is that? You know what I mean? You got to understand what democracy make you do. Democracy takes you from your natural nature. You see, this is the problem with conforming to the ways of the world. Because the ways of the world is designed to get you from living out in your natural nature, guys. The ones that's winning and the people that's mostly close and at peace are the guys who are living in their natural nature. They wake up in the morning and they put on a natural nature coat. They don't put on this act to go with society and care. You know what I mean? You know why? Because criticism is the cost to be successful. And those guys that put on their natural coat, they can care less what any sheep can tell them. Because let me tell you something about the sheep, right? The sheep be so worried about the wolf that the sheep herdsman kills them. Like, you see, they be worried about the wolf when the sheep herdsman is the one that eat the lamb chop. Yo, who taught these niggas how to be stupid, yo?
Therefore, democracy is a cruel joke that Satan must laugh at as he sees it executed and spread across the world.
And that's a whole fact, guys. That's a whole fizzy. That's a whole fizzy, man. Man, I love you guys, man. I love telling you guys the truth. I love telling my truth to you guys, man, because I know you guys love it. And you know who else? You know who else love it? These celebrities, these stars that we keep worshiping and looking up to, guys. Think about it. How many of them since 2020, since God sent us into the crib to see that he the truth? Because that's what 2020 was. He sent us in the crib for us to research and find out and understand that he the truth and he run the show. Why after that, all these celebrities who made deals with devils then start coming out like, you know what I mean? Because that's the only time a nigga know God. That's the only time a black person know God. The only time a black person know God, the real God, not Sky Zaddy, is when the deal they made with Sky Zaddy go bad. When the deal they made with the devil goes sour, that's when black folks know God. That's when they want to know the real God. But you know what I mean? But we got a forgiving and we got a loving God. So he don't care as long as you get to him. Get to him how you get to him, as long as you get to him. But I wish my black brothers stopped waiting so late. Why y'all niggas wait till y'all 50 with diabetes, leg amputated, to want to talk this God shit? Become a pastor and you can have your braids, you can have your leather jacket, your Jordans, and still be in tune with your Holy Ghost, bro. Fuck wrong with y'all niggas? Mother ain't teach y'all nothing, man. Salute, squad. Let's get back to the content, though, because, guys, I had a little piece in the beginning. In the very beginning, I had a little piece from the child star, the child actor. Y'all remember the child actor chick? You know what I mean? I liked her, too. You know what I mean? Another one, y'all. Another one of those Hollywood stars get spit back out of the machine and wake the fuck up and realize they made a bad deal with the devil. And it's sad because we see so many stars coming forth nowadays trying to get out of Hollywood. Why are we trying to get in Hollywood when the fucking stars is trying to get out of Hollywood? But I'm bashing. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I get on here with these so-called conspiracy videos, and every day we got a new star coming forward talking about, Joe, this shit is the devil. This shit is satanic. It's good versus evil. It's rich versus poor. It's not black versus white. Let's get it.
It's real.
It's real.
And all this is an illusion. It's an illusion. This industry, for what it is, and everything that people look to and praise.
Catch me with my commentary again. I'm Prophet.
It's not important. God is moving me in more than one way than just this show. It's bigger than this show.
God moves everyone, little sis. God moves everyone, little sis. You just gotta listen to it. know what I mean? And everybody got their own time, bro. Everybody got their own time. I was an ignorer of him. I ain't even gonna get on this joint and act like I woke up. You know what I mean? Well, actually, I did just wake up and was on this bullshit. But I ain't gonna act like I just was born, came out the womb or some. You know what I mean? Nah. I ignored him. I was a hell of a nigga. Hell of a nigga. Hell of a nigga. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? At some point, you understand and you look yourself in the mirror and you be like, this ain't right. This can't be life. It can't be life. Looking over my shoulder, you know what I mean? Shit, you know what I mean? I don't know how many kids running around out there, could be mine. Like, shit ain't right. And every man comes to the point where he keep it real with himself. You know what I mean? And you identify the manipulation, because that's all it is. You know what I mean? When you lying, when you making excuses, you're being manipulated. You know what I mean? When you in your feelings, when you in your emotions, when you playing this fantasy worldly shit, you in your feelings, you in your emotions, you're manipulated. And we're gonna get to that, guys. Keep in mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the Mr. Goodbread Show and the Daily Goodbread channel. Those are both of my channels. But stick around, because towards the end, y'all know when we get to the education part, we got 15 reasons, 15 signs that you are being manipulated. So that you don't be manipulated, I want you to make sure you pay attention to all 15 of these signs, because that's what it come down to today. It come down to you critically thinking for yourself. Don't know what to think, know how to think.
I'm doing God's work now. Okay. I'm not doing anything else.
Join the team, sis. Join the team, sis. That's what I'm talking about. Look, and we getting younger and younger and younger, yo. And everybody understand what it is. The basic instructions before leaving Earth. You play dumb if you want, bro. 2020 ain't happen for no reason. You know what I mean? It's the only way out. It's the only way out. This gender war, all that shit. You know what I mean? Poverty, that's the answer, bro. You got to go to him, have that conversation with him. Pick your book up. Pick your instruction manual up. Y'all niggas read everything else. Y'all read and love every other piece of content. Fake news, fake history, fake everything. But y'all don't want to read that. Only time y'all want to read that is when you want to pull and cherry pick a little verse that'll fit your little pandering need, your little dopamine hit. You know what I mean? You know, the men run to the Bible when they want to talk about the modern woman. So they run to Proverbs and they find all of the shit that talk about the modern woman and how she a devil and a bastard. But they don't go to the self-improvement shit that say if you don't go to make the covenant with God, you ain't gonna be shit either. You're gonna be walking around here like Cain. They don't go to those verses. Likewise, the women, they love talking this, oh, he who finds a woman find a good thing. But they don't talk about how rare that good thing is and how God said that good thing is rare. So you see how people play. But this is why I tell y'all, man, wrap up, strap up, don't play with your life. I'm just the messenger, man. I'm just here to deliver you to the water. Now, if you drink, you drink. And it's other people. Everybody waking up. Everybody waking up.
I'm not leaving because I had a terrible time working at the CW. I like the CW. I like Mark Pedowitz. I like Peter Roth, Greg Berlanti. I love Celine. I always will. He gets it. And people that actually know me, not people that I've just spent a lot of time around filming, but people that know me, they know why I make the decisions that I make. And they also know that I never make a single one of them to hurt anyone or affect anybody negatively. But I am doing God's work now. And that is all I'm doing. I don't know why I was wasting time before. The reason why I started my production company is not to start making moves. I have not played the game well when it comes to the standards of this industry. God is the.
That's a fact. You ain't played the game well because you ain't know it was so malicious. You go into the game thinking it's all love, but the love be fake. That hate, that evil, that be real. And it took her. It took her.
Only reason why I am where I am right now, because he leads me where he wants me to go and I follow him. And at times I resist him, and those are the times that I regret. Not now, not right now. I know y'all are probably confused as to why I'm crying. There's other stuff surrounding me leaving the show and the news and everything that we all received yesterday. I'm trying to deal with it. But I'm not crying because I regret leaving. I'm really not. I would have regretted staying because he's moving me. And when he calls, I'm going to follow. I don't care where he leads me. I don't care if it's in the middle of Timbuktu somewhere, living off of a couple pennies and a dime for the rest of my life with my family doing missionary work. I don't care where it is. I would leave all of this behind.
And I believe you, sis, because when I got that calling, I did the same thing. To this day, sis, I have yet to cut a person off. I didn't cut nobody off. You run into Mr. Goodbread, you get that same smile and what's up? What up? You know what I mean? I didn't cut nobody off. All I did, sis, was start calling out some bad behavior amongst the urban community. And voila, all the people that I thought loved me, said they love me, disappeared. So you doing God work. Don't worry about it. And don't be scared to do God work. Don't be scared.
And I've just made it to this point in my life now. I've just made it here during this quarantine. Everything that I learned and everything that he taught me and all of the spiritual journeys he led me on.
You heard her, right? She said during this quarantine, guys, keep in mind, a lot of people woke up. Remember, 2020 was the 2020 vision. That was the year to see what you needed to see, bro.
It brought me to this decision. And I'm sorry if you guys are sad. I know it's a lot to take in. But just know that things are changing. Things are different now.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Things are changing.
It's not about this industry and about all of these things that people think are so important. It's not about those things. There's only one truth. And I'm going to live in that truth until I die.
That's a fact. And democracy give people options, give people so much gray area. So in a democratic society, it's so many truths. So this is why your truth, God truth, ain't the only truth. So we can challenge it because we got this truth over here. And we can follow this truth and we can follow. It's only one truth. And it's in that Bible. It's only one Black history. And it's in that Bible.
I don't care how anybody feels about it at this point. I've made my decision. I've learned a lot on this show, and I'm grateful for it. And I'm taking a few relationships, personal relationships, only a few, away from it. To our crew, thank you to our crew. I love our crew. I can't list you all. Okay. But thank you for everything that you've done for this show. And for being good to me. Thank you. And I've tried my very best. Y'all know I've tried my best these past 3 seasons to be good to y'all. I've tried to be good to everybody on that show.
And guys, when she says she tried to be good to y'all, she tried to deliver a great message. She tried to make her money, but still realize the quality and and what she's putting out there for the little ones. Remember, this is the child star, guys. I don't even remember her name, but yeah, look her up, guys. Y'all know her. Y'all know her. Put her name in the chat for me, y'all.
I'm sure some of you have noticed that over this time to where we've been quarantined, I've started talking about things, making videos that I didn't usually make, talking about certain things that I deal with and how I get through it, talking about God, having some tough conversations with you guys, just because it's been put on my heart to say these things. And I want to take that same energy over into my movies. I'm creating things now for y'all. That's not to get a check. I've never made decisions based off of money. My family never has. It's not to get a check. It's to teach y'all something or to show you new avenues that entertainment doesn't show y'all right now.
That's the vibe right there. I swear to God, son, I don't do it for the money. I do it for the influence. I do it for the probability and the chance that the word gonna spread. And before you know it, I have 1,000 people, 1,000 men and women in these chats viewing the channel and viewing this quality information. You know what I mean? Quality. I'm underrated right now, but that's okay. That's why I rely on you guys. You know what I mean? That's why I don't come on here and stand on you guys' shoulder and I speak up for my brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? That's not in a position to speak for themselves. You know what I mean? It's a total team effort, guys.
It doesn't.
T.O.
Like, movies are great. TV is great. Representation is important.
Facts.
But we need the spirit again in these projects. I don't know where.
And that's a fact. And this is what Kanye blowing up right now. This is why everybody mad at him. Because he blowing it up. Y'all using us to damage our image. Y'all pay us. Y'all will pay us to say some fuck shit and do some fucked up shit to our own people. But we can't mention that y'all paying us to do that. We can't mention y'all wrong. But we can do all this shit to our own people. That's why let them go. Y'all worry about Kanye. He gonna be all right. Because he doing God work. Anybody that's doing God work, calling out the bullshit, gonna be all right. It ain't about money when it come to us, yo. It's not about money.
It's gone.
Okay.
I can only pinpoint a few now. And the rest of them hurt me to watch. The world is the way that it is right now, but a lot of people be saying they want change, but I'm ready for change. I'm ready for things to change. And I want to help. I'm done teeny bopping around here. It's not about making the best next move. It's not about me. I don't care. I don't even care about that anymore. I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of the good. And if I'm not currently really a part of it, not just kind of sitting in one place, but helping push it forward, I don't know what I'm doing here. So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Thank y'all for supporting the show. I hope you took some genuinely good things from it. Some good moments. I hope that you did. And congratulations to Salim and Jordan. Jordan, who plays Painkiller on the show, just got a spinoff. Y'all, please support him in that. God did that for him. And he's going to do great. I know it. Please embrace him with open arms and support him. The show's going to be great. This chapter of my life is closing.
Okay.
And I'm so excited for what's next.
She joining the team, Tolo. She joining the team, yo. She joining the truth telling squad. She joining the fuck that shit. Take all your money back, devil. I no longer want to work with you or for you. You know what I mean? That's all. And we talking about how more and more of us is coming on to the light, and we starting to understand this black culture shit, this ways of the world. It ain't beneficial to us. It removes us from our nature, from our God-given nature as a man and as a woman. You know what I mean? And it's beautiful to see a young lady, a young sister come to the light so young and so early. Oh yeah, it's on now. Look at young Candace. This young Candace in the making right here.
I'm excited. I've never felt more awake in my life. When you're wide awake, you're more aware. Things hurt you more. But you know, that's okay. Because I'd rather be awake. I'd rather live my life awake and understanding what the truth is. Because there's only one. There's only one truth.
It's only one, no gray area.
My life, however long I have.
No gray area.
Nobody's gonna stop me at this point. I've made my decision. So. Thank y'all. Thanks for listening to me. And y'all will know when these things start coming out of me. You'll know. I'll let y'all know. I think it's gonna help. I'm so excited. I love you guys. You'll see me soon.
And that's what's up, y'all. That's what's up. Spoken like a true G. Spoken like a true G. But let's keep it moving. Let's roll on into the content. All right. So with that said, guys, I'm not even gonna make y'all wait for the 15 rules. You know what I mean? Because y'all always here with me, y'all rock with me and shit. And because I was late today. You know what I mean? I'm fucking up the shit. I'm fucking up house money too. I know the court is in session and shit. So I know y'all switching back and forth and shit. My bad. Damn, I gotta go drop a cash app over there at the court too. I fucking botched the whole schedule up. Because remember, this is period 1. Later on tonight at 9 o'clock, we got period 2. We got period 2. You know what I mean? So let's get it, guys. Where we at now? We going now. Good old Honest Abe, yo. Let's get it. Let's no. We skipping. We gonna save Honest Abe to the end. We gonna save good old Honest Abe to the end. You know what I mean? That's our main event tonight. Let's get into the education. Let's get the education out the way. You know what I mean? Let's make sure we not manipulated. And this'll help us ingest the whole Abraham Lincoln and this whole delusion and Hollywood fantasy shit that you guys got in your head and that a lot of us came up off of. You know what I mean? We came up believing that bull. Where we at? Yeah. All right.
From the beginning, the alleged assassination has generated mountains.
Ever wonder, have I been manipulated? Well, the answer is probably yes. We've all been subject at some point in our lives to someone else's manipulation, be it so-called friends, people at work, or even family members. The weird thing about being manipulated is you often don't know it's happening until it's way too late to do anything about it. But after this video, we promise you'll leave with a complete perspective on how people are being manipulated on a daily basis.
And that's a fact, yo. One of the hardest manipulations to overcome is the family manipulation for me. Because these motherfuckers, boy, they gonna make you kill them, yo. And then because y'all slept on grandma's floor together, that's supposed to hold some type of weight. You know what I mean? But family is gonna be one of your biggest setbacks. You know what I mean? But again, guys, I fuck with A-Lux, salute the A-Lux. You know what I mean? It's the information that they don't want you to get. You know what I mean? And again, guys, all I do is deliver y'all to the water. You know what I mean? I don't come on here and play dumb. Like, yo, but why don't? Because it ain't my job to sit up here and act like I know more than you. It's my job to get you to the information that got me knowing more than you. You get that? You see that? You see what make a little bit that I'm different. You know what I mean? So don't worry about why I just react to A-Lex or why I always use. Because you need this information. I've used this information and it worked. You know what I mean? Stop looking for an excuse to be stupid. And that's what's wrong with us.
Grab a drink, A-Lux, so let's explore this one together. Here are 15 signs you're being manipulated. Number 1, you know what to think, not how to think.
Now, again, that's been the theme of our show today. Pay attention.
Look at it like this. How many people do you know that are actually critical thinkers? Probably not that many. According to the University of Virginia, only 10 to 15% of the world population has developed their critical thinking skills. And this is quite scary considering how society works in the current day and age. The better your critical thinking skills are, the lower the chances of you being subject to someone else's manipulation. This is precisely why you're on this path, A-Luxer. Proper education is the best way to safeguard against thought police, as George Orwell called them in the book 1984. Make sure your actions are a direct cause of your own free will and critical thinking. Number 2, you are poor. Robert Kiyosaki, the author of the famous Rich Dad, Poor Dad book, said the following: everything is designed to keep you poor. And by
You know, that's our specialty over here. That's why I make these videos, to bring the light. You know what I mean? Don't go with the ways of the world. If you go with the ways of the world, you do not MGTOW, you will be poor, bro. You will be poor. See, y'all hear MGTOW because y'all so sex driven that y'all start thinking it's all about the bitches. No, MGTOW is more about not conforming with the ways of the world than it is about bitches. You know what I mean? Because if the bitches is doing this, and if the niggas in the ways of the world is doing this, then MGTOW means do that. Don't do this. All right, guys? So don't complicate common sense.
now, you already know that we agree with him. Poor and uneducated people are easier to manipulate. It's just a fact. Numerous studies have shown that there is a direct correlation between high levels of education and wealth.
And it's not even that, A-Lux. Well, it's that. I ain't gonna say it's not even that. It's that. It's all of that. But you know why poor people is easily manipulated? Because poor people always in their feelings. Modern women and simps is too emotional. And what I tell you about the emotional people, when you in your feelings, you can take all your money, bro. See?
People who think education stops in college are naive. Okay, but what does this have to do with manipulation? Well, it's quite simple, actually. The rat race is real, and sadly for many people, it's a way of life. They've been lied to and manipulated into chasing the wrong kind of happiness, sacrificing their freedom in the process. Watching A-Lux videos and pushing a higher level of education solves this. And as a side note, Henry David Thoreau realized there is something wrong with the way we lived 2 centuries ago. In his book Walden, he said something that still rings true today, maybe more than ever. Most men lead lives of quiet desperation.
That's a fact. And that's a fact. We want something. We all have something that we want. Whether we don't, or whether we going about it sneakily or we going about it Debo-ish. It's something we want.
Do you agree with him, Aluxer? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3, you are obedient. Now, because we already mentioned Thoreau, did you know he also said this? Disobedience is the true foundation of liberty. The obedient must be slaves. Now, this quote might seem a little bit archaic at first, but what he's hinting at here is civil disobedience. The more obedient you are, the more susceptible you are to manipulation. Why? Because you rely on others and not yourself. You are not a leader in your own life. Civil disobedience doesn't mean reject. Your freedom and rights extend as far as other people's, so be careful not to invade their garden in the process. We encourage you to question everything and to create your own path in life. Self-reliance is what separates successful people from the crowd. But before you do that, make sure you build the correct mindset by adopting proper values. You apologize too much. If you ever find yourself apologizing too much, just know this. It's a sign of low self-esteem. Psychology even has
Definitely a sign of being controlled. Look at Kanye. They want him to apologize. His controllers want him to apologize. Look at how your hell of a mothers carry on. Be having you apologize for no reason. Sometimes you're like, what the fuck did I just have to say sorry for? Your oppressors be having you apologize. You know what I mean? The people that you have to apologize or have to explain shit to, those are the people that want to control you. Yes, sir.
As a term for people who behave like that, obsequious. People with low self-esteem are always prone to manipulation because they simply can't help the urge to always please others. There's a fine line between acting kind, apologizing when you're wrong, and being someone's servant. You don't get any real respect if you're acting like that. We encourage you to be a nice human being, but not to the detriment of your own self-esteem. Just do what feels right to you and don't forget to stand up for yourself.
Exactly, guys. Live in your nature. Live in your innate nature. Salute, bro, to the pro. Yo, bro, before you get at me, man, I stole some information. I didn't know you was going to pop out tonight. So I stole some information. I stole it. Last time we was chilling, I stole this. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm giving them 15 signs they are being manipulated. You know what I mean? We don't want them to think that they victims, that they sheep. You know what I mean? I don't want them to be looking for the wolf and the shepherd men get them, the shepherd's men get them.
The right people will respect you for that. Otherwise, you're just going to be somebody's puppet. Number 5, you don't understand or control your emotions.
Bingo!
Successful and independent people are masters when it comes to emotional intelligence. This skill is a must-have if you want to safeguard your thoughts and beliefs. When emotions go up, IQ goes down. That's because we can't be rational anymore. And given the chance, people will always take advantage of that aspect of you.
And a lot of you guys go wrong when you deal with these modern women that love the adrenaline rush. These chicks, they so fidgety, they do shit just to get a reaction out of you, and then they troll you. You know what I mean? Because you're not in control of your emotions. And they know that. Remember, modern women love emotionally immature guys. So just be aware of that. And ladies, be alert. Stop fucking with these emotionally immature men. Simple. Just because they cute. Just because they ballers. You know what I mean? You end up hurt at the end. And that's your fault.
By learning how emotions work and integrating them, you can save yourself a lot of headaches. That's how you win arguments, build confidence, and get ahead in life. Be assertive, and whenever you see someone trying to get you emotional, just keep this in mind. They're probably trying to manipulate you. Number 6, you fail at setting healthy boundaries. How many times have you caught someone trying to hijack your beliefs and values? Probably at least a few times in your life, depending on your age. That's the moment when you have to set some healthy boundaries. If not, the hijack will continue, and by accepting that, you'll eventually be manipulated. When you see someone attempting...
And that's a fact. I told you, salute to my guy BT. You know what I mean? We were talking about that earlier. That's a fact. But guys, if you let them slide from the door, from the gate, they will ice skate on you, bro. And what you gonna say? Because you didn't let them do it. You let them rock out. You have to set your boundaries in these relationships from the door. Likewise, ladies, you gotta let it be known what you don't accept and what you like. You know what I mean? Don't just be going with it because he's giving you money. You know what I mean? Oh, because he's giving you money. No, you gotta set your boundaries from the gate.
That, just take a step back and look for signs of gaslighting. A lot of people are acting like this unconsciously. So the first step in fixing that dynamic is for you to communicate what you've observed. That way you can let the other person know that you're wise to whatever they're trying to pull. Number 7, you don't read good books. Because we mentioned education and books in this video, we find this to be a valid point too. There's a lot of bad content out there and as many bad books that can waste your time. You have to think about the cost of opportunity.
That's a whole fact, A-Lux. They don't read books no more. They just go to these blogs. They just go to Hollywood Unlocked and see what she wrote. And then they go to the shade room. Then they run their ass over there to wherever they need to go. But they just going online and getting this information. They not reading books. They not reading useful quality information. And then when they do read, they read for entertainment. They don't read to apply studies. I mean, that's a whole different skill. That's a skill set right there. Reading shit, taking in information, and being able to apply it. Now that's a whole nother ball game right there.
Time is your most valuable resource. And because we're talking about manipulation scenarios here, we suggest you read Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power book. And if you're...
Now, hold on. Before we go any forward, y'all know... Hold the fuck up. Hold on, A-Lux. Hold on, because I need niggas to understand this. Now, this book is very useful when it comes to skills on identifying your enemies and the phony ones. Your mother, your hell of a mother. Let's keep it real. This book is not meant to go around using on your brothers and sisters, bro, that have love and genuine care for you. It's not meant for that. Because you're going to be fucking up relationships, and that's going to be on you. You know what I mean? This book, if you interpret it wrong, is witchcraft. You know what I mean? It's not the Bible. Remember that. It's not the Bible. All right? So you suck this book up because it's the way they read it, the way they wrote it, very entertaining, very good. You can ingest it, but you ingest that sucker and let it go to your head, and you start identifying people that got genuine love for you as your enemy, and you refuse to apply that shit to your real enemy, which is your oppressor, which is your hell of a mother, you's a fool. All right? But go ahead, continue, A-Lux. Very good book. You right.
Into all-time classics, Machiavelli's book, The Prince, will serve you just as well. Understanding human nature is key if you want to expose manipulative people and their schemes. By arming yourself with proper knowledge, you'll become a master observer when it comes to social interactions. And as a direct result, you'll be able to recognize sneaky people before they get too close to your personal life. Number 8, you blindly listen to politicians. Now, this should come as no surprise. Many politicians got their position of power through selling half-truths and full lies. Their behavior is manipulative by default. You would understand this if you read Machiavelli's book we mentioned earlier. The truth is that two competing politicians are just different faces of the same coin. The illusion that we have the freedom of choice lies precisely in that. People who are Machiavellian by nature will always follow their own interests, and their own interests usually don't align with yours. Keep that in mind the next time you're listening to a political debate. Most of them lack values like true honesty and will resort to the dirtiest manipulation tactics to accomplish their goals, especially if you live in an underdeveloped country. Number 9, you can't read people. Reading people is one of those skills that you must develop as early in life as possible.
And that's a fact, guys. You got to be able to read people. But it go back to you have to be living in your natural ability. If you're not living in your natural character, then you're not going to be able to identify somebody who is not living in their natural character, because y'all both being fake and phony with one another. You know what I mean? This is why people that live in a natural character, they can identify it. It's like shit be looking real weird to us. Like we be looking at people like, why you gotta do that? You don't gotta do all that. Like, you know what I mean? And that's how that be. You want to remain in your innate nature at all times, not sometimes, all times.
It'll save you a lot of drama and wasted time. The way you practice this is by being an active observer of daily human interactions. There's always a reason behind every action, so pay attention to what people say and do. It's the little things that say the most. See what we did there? Look at their body language, facial expressions, and how they behave when they're around other people. In time, you'll find yourself spotting patterns and you'll get better and better at it. That's how you filter quality people and real friends out from the rest of the mob. If you don't know how to do this, they're just going to take advantage of you.
That's a fact, guys. You got to remember, there is no more you in other people. So stop looking for you in other people and see things for what they are. Don't be loving people and liking people so much, liking their character so much that you let bad behavior slip right up underneath your nose either. Because if they do it to somebody else, bro, they'll do it to you. Especially if they do it to somebody else in front of you, they'll do it to you. So, you know what I mean? Keep that in mind, guys.
Number 10, you're working a 9 to 5. Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
All right. Breathe, guys. Breathe, and don't complicate common sense. I told y'all a long time ago, get up off them company policies, yo. Know what I mean? Now, if you work in a 9 to 5, you are controlled. But what are you doing about it? You are being manipulated. But what are you doing about the manipulation, all right? At some form, some cases, we all come under facing manipulation. Now, what you do about it makes you or breaks you. That'll determine if you are truly alpha in this world or if you are beta in this world. And again, it's okay. Everybody not going to be alpha. But what are you doing about this manipulation, being that you trapped into a 9 to 5 at the time? Now let's get it. Get the notebook, get the pens out, guys. Get them pens out.
The way you practice this is by being an active observer of daily human interactions. There's always a reason behind every action, so pay attention to what people say and do. It's the little things that say the most. See what we did there? Look at their body language, facial expressions, and how they behave when they're around other people. In time, you'll find yourself spotting patterns and you'll get better and better at it. That's how you filter quality people and real friends out from the rest of the mob. If you don't know how to do this, they're just going to take advantage of you. Number 10, you're working a 9 to 5. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the author of the best-selling books Anti-Fragile and Skin in the Game, famously said, the 3 most harmful addictions are heroin, carbohydrates, and a monthly salary.
The 3 most harmful addictions are heroin, carbohydrates, which is sugars, and a monthly salary.
Now, that's a hard hit, but it's true, whether we accept it or not. We may not like it, but a monthly salary won't get you into that 3% club. Instead, it'll create an employee mindset instead of incentivizing you to build your own story. It's a form of manipulation not a lot of people talk about, and for good reason. Most people just prefer competing in the rat race. It's more comfortable, but at the same time, it breeds mediocrity. Having a meaningful life requires effort and brain power. A comfortable life requires compliance, but it won't bring you any satisfaction. It's up to you to decide what path you want to walk.
And that's a fact, guys. Remember, from the time we born, they roboting us. They turning us into little robots in the factory. You know what I mean? We go from mama to the school, robots, into the workforce. Don't nobody harvest our ability to become our own creators except for you reading that Bible. Because when you read the Bible, all the Bible tell man to do is create. Man was sent down here to work and build, 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 build. All the Bible talk about is man building. Man built this whole shit. All right? Not working for somebody. That's the trap. That's the illusion. You know what I mean? They entertain y'all. Then they have y'all working for them. You know what I mean? The elites is them. You know what I mean? The elites, the Jews. Let's keep it real. Fair use, fair use. This is for educational purposes only.
If you're an A-Luxer, we already know you have ambitions. So take this as a sign to start working on that project you've always dreamed of. We know you've got what it takes. Number 11, you are reactive, not.
And hold on, before we get to 11, right? We all got a project. We all got a dream in our mind that we know we could do. But through life, it's thrown at you. The devil throw everything to stagnate you and get you from that. Some of us end up with these hell of a bitches and they slow us down. Some sisters, y'all end up with these thirsty ass pookies and they slow you down. You know what I mean? But in any event, things is thrown at you to throw you off and to keep you from building. This is why all the women running around here talking about I don't need a man. All the niggas running around here talking about fuck bitches. Y'all bugging because the quickest way to building is teamwork. The quickest way to building is teamwork. This is why you won't never hear me say, yo, don't fuck with bitches. I just tell you be careful with them. I tell you go the other way from black culture. Stop messing with these Keishas and stop messing with these hood booger bitches. You know what I mean? And keep your eye out for these wayward wordy bitches. You know what I mean? That's what I teach y'all. And ladies, ladies,
Assertive. Reactive people are like a volcano that's about to erupt at any time. That's a sign of emotional immaturity, and they're good prey for those who know how to trigger them. To be more precise, imagine the following scenario. You're working in a casual office, and one of your colleagues wants to get rid of you for whatever reason. They know that you've got an impulsive temperament, so they piss you off intentionally in order to get an emotional reaction from you in front of everyone.
Exactly. This is exactly what LaTruth, Mrs. LaTruth did this, yo. She's an excellent example, yo. Please let that couple be our new red pill talking point couple. Can we please leave Sierra and Russell Wilson alone? I think they disprove everything we throw on them because they're still together and we really can't chalk nothing up that's really that whole weight and whole value on that couple, really. Can we just now shift our direction in the red pill space to something truthful like the LaTruths? Because they got all our talking points.
Then your manager finds out and you get in trouble. And congratulations, you've just fallen prey to manipulation and you are in danger of losing your job. Who won? The way you fix that is by becoming emotionally mature and assertive rather than reactive. Instead of reactive.
Right. So that ain't confusing here, y'all. When you're dealing with these modern women, these Jezebel chicks, they'll do things to get you out your act. They'll do things to get you to hit them. They'll do things to get you out of character. You know what I mean? You got to be in control of that. You have to be in control of your emotions, all 27 of them at all times, bro. Remember the list, man. Go back to the video where I gave y'all the list of all 27 emotions that they're designed to play with you with. This gynocracy is designed to play on all 27 of your emotions, bro. And they attack all 5 of your senses. Peep game.
You need to respond in a calm and relaxed way. People won't bother you anymore because they know that you can handle anything. Number 12, you think you're always right. The problem with this mindset is it creates an echo chamber around you. It's nice.
And if you notice, a lot of the hood ratchet chicks, the bottom of the map, the low-hanging fruit women and dudes, those be the know-it-alls. The simps and modern women, those be the biggest know-it-alls in the black community, yo. The biggest know-it-alls. And that's because they all in the world. They're all caught up in the ways of the world, so that they're running off of the worldly agendas. You can't tell them nothing because they on the news, they on these reality shows. If it happened in the world, then they think they know it. But we all know that this is spiritual world. So we worried about what's on the spiritual level, and they worrying about what's on this worldly level. So we'll never see eye to eye. So stay out of arguments with those guys and women. You're not arguing and operating on the same wavelength, on the same level at all. I promise you.
If you trust your intuition, but if you think you're right all the time, that's usually a red flag. Humans simply don't work like that. You can't know it all. Self-manipulation is a real thing, and stubborn people are the most prone to it. They always have an argument ready before you can even make a point. Smart and successful people know how to remain objective, and they listen more than they talk. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong place. We mentioned this quote because it can create scenarios where your life becomes an echo chamber.
Exactly. If you are the smartest person in the room, you are probably in the wrong room. But a lot of them in the black community, they don't mind because they get all of the attention. You see how that works? See, so they be the smartest person in a room full of dummies. So they the smartest dummy out of all the dummies. But because they're the smartest dummy, all other dummies salute them and praise them and kiss their ass. You know what I mean? You see how that works? So this is what go on in the black community. This is why if you ain't kissing ass, they ain't supporting you. If you ain't saying good, sweet lies, they ain't giving you no pussy. You know what I mean? This is why all the dudes in the black community liars. Because they can't tell a woman the truth. Because when they tell a woman the truth, they bashing. Oh, you don't want to see a sister come up. No. That's exactly why we telling you the truth. I thought that sisters told us that a real man will never let his sister look stupid. Because that's all we do. All us truth tellers do is tell y'all sisters when y'all looking stupid. And y'all continuously look stupid.
Chamber. That's how you become a victim of self-deception. Being wrong is just fine, but you have to accept it. It's part of the process and a mark of a highly educated individual. Socrates said it a long time ago. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing.
Right.
Number 13, you lie often. The more you lie to others, the more you lie to yourself.
Now, guys, I thought I taught y'all this last night. You want to limit the lies. Say you go a whole day and you tell 60 lies in a day, right? White lies, big lies, it don't matter. A lie is a lie, nigga. But every day you want to say, all right, if I told 60 lies yesterday, let me try to only tell 50 today. And each day you want to limit the lie. That's how you'll turn into liquid crack in the flesh, bro. These women are crack addicts. So you want to make yourself liquid crack in the flesh. You know what I mean? You know what it is? You guys be worrying about the roll-off. You're going to get the roll-off. Women are going to get away from you. Women, you're going to repel. You're going to become a modern woman repellent. But as fast as you're repelling them, is as fast as they're going to be flocking to you, boy. And we already spoke about why telling the truth is important and how telling the truth works.
This too falls under the self-deception category. The more you lie to others, the more you're going to force yourself into living in a fantasy world. That's how you manipulate yourself into thinking you are someone else, and smart people will just smell your BS.
Exactly. Now we call out modern women and their delusion all of the time. Don't let us be walking around in a delusion, fellas. Don't let us be walking around in delusion. That's not cute. Oh no, that's very feminine. Very, very feminine. And in some sort of way, it's kind of cute for the ladies to be in their little fantasy and shit. They women. You know what I mean? But a man, you in a delusion, you don't know that real is real? Get the fuck out of here.
Lying in general is just a bad idea. The right people will respect you for your honesty. Besides, doing it often will affect your integrity, self-esteem, and your relationship.
That's fire. So if you gotta lie to a bitch, then automatically that's telling you that's the wrong bitch. You get that? You see how that work? You see how that work?
Relationship with other people. Number 14, you don't understand human nature. Let's explain this one by telling a little story about our past. Do you know when the first betrayal in evolution took place? It happened millions of years ago, when the first forms of life realized they could eat other microorganisms instead of producing.
Now, hey, Lux, you know you dead wrong with that bullshit. The first ever backstab was Lucifer, government zaddy Satan, and God. Government zaddy Satan said, look, I'm going to be the new God. And Lucifer went on about his mess, bro, and got his whole ass whipped. You know what I mean? Got his whole ass whipped for it. That was the first betrayal. Stop playing with me, Alux. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Their own energy. Fast forward hundreds of millions of years, and here we are trying to be better. The truth is that in life, a lot of people will act like that and try to get ahead by using other people. It's sadly human nature for a lot of us, and nature may seem unfair at times. Make sure you avoid those people. They will do whatever it takes to manipulate and use you and your time as their resource. Number 15. You believe in conspiracy theories. Seriously, guys, the large majority of conspiracy theories are just a good laugh. Yes, we live.
I'm going to let you get away with that, but you said that. You said it right. A large part of conspiracy theories are just a big laugh. But what about the other part? We ain't going to talk about the other part, Lux? I'm going to let you slide with that one because you're doing a good job, doing a very good job. Thank you.
In a crazy world, but the reason conspiracy theories get traction is they give you something to believe in. They don't have to be true, they just have to give you the answers that you want to hear. As mentioned,
sometimes it's not about the answers. Sometimes we just like other options. We just like other avenues and ways of thinking. We like to see how else we could think of this. Because, you know what I mean? God told us to test every spirit. So we like to see all sides of the coins. Like, I listen to this side and I listen to that side. But I will always love the option to be able to listen to the other side. So miss me with that conspiracy shit. You know what I mean? I told y'all what conspiracy really mean, then why they mad at it. Con spirits I see. You know what I mean? So a lot of us that believe in conspiracies and that follow the shit, we know. We with the shits. Because it's con spirits I see. Yeah, you can't con me. We way too emotionally intelligent for that. So I want to hear it. I want to see it. I want to research it. But you ain't going, oh, it's fake. So just know you don't even need to pay attention to it. No. Let me see it. Fuck out of here.
At point number 1, critical thinking is what helps you to filter out all this noise. If you enjoy watching them, well, that's fine. Just make sure you remain objective and don't fall victim to manipulation attempts. And yes, okay, we know Alex Jones might have been kind of right a couple of times, but most of his stories are wrong, dead wrong. And that's...
I disagree with you, Alex. And again, you being gray area-ish. Some of his stories is right, but a lot of them is dead wrong. No. Wherever there's smoke, there's fire, yo. 1 + 1 = 2. The dots always connect. You know what I mean? How could somebody be right about something and then wrong about others? Like, yeah, that's true. But no, not when it comes to the shit he be talking about, sis.
It's a topic for another time. And with that, Alexers, that's a wrap. Have you ever been manipulated? And if so, what's the most valuable lesson you've learned from it? Please share with us in the comments. And
that's a fact, guys, yo. I told y'all I got manipulated. Family the only ones that can manipulate me, guys. No cap, no flex, yo. Family the only ones that can manipulate me, yo. Can't nobody else get me out there like that. You know what I mean, guys? Who can manipulate y'all, yo? Throw it in the chat, man. Keep it real, y'all. or even if not, or even if you won't let them manipulate you, but who got access to manipulate you? You know what I mean? Your job, your boss, whatever it is, your mother, your woman, like, you know what I mean? Let it be known, you know what I mean? But I can tell you one thing, whoever controls your money controls you.
For sticking with us this long, you know you're getting a bonus. Number 16. You're not physically strong. Physical manipulation is one of the most dangerous ones out there. A human needs two things to function properly: a healthy mind and a strong body. If you lack one of these, you set yourself up for uncomfortable situations. Another person can and very well might use their physical strength to dominate and manipulate you if given the chance. It's one of the first things we learn in childhood when we come face to face with bullies. So we encourage you to take good care of your body and become the most capable version of yourself. Combine all of this and you will earn everyone's respect and appreciation.
And that's a fact, guys. That's a whole fact right there, guys. So we reached the halfway point, guys. It's at this point in the live that I ask you guys to share this video on all your social media platforms. And I also like to ask you guys to open up your phone contact and share this video. There's somebody in your phone contact that could really use this information and take it to the top. You know what I mean? Share the information with them. Don't be stingy with them. Sharing the 3 people in your phone contact, guys. You know what I mean? While y'all do that, we're going to go into a commercial break. When we come back from the commercial break, we're going to get straight on into this Abraham Lincoln. And I want you guys to think. And what I want you guys to pull from this is how everything is fake, bro. They fake everything. Our history is made up of fake events, guys. Events that are entertaining, events that are talk worthy, you know what I mean? But they're not real, guys. They're not real. All right. And I need you guys to become aware of that. A lot of events. You know what we do over here. We just did the Tupac joint the other day. You know what I mean? So I decided to go on, went on shopping. I saw my boy Hoax. Salute to the Hoax channel. He went on and did a nice little thing on Abraham Lincoln. So I said, you know what? Plus, we was already chatting in the inbox on Instagram. You know what I mean? And he liked the way I do my biblical red pill spills. So salute to you. So, you know what I mean? We going to bring that on. So yeah, y'all guys go on and like, share, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. We're going to go to commercial, man. I did enough talking. We're going to come back, straight content. All right, guys, before we get into what I have researched, let's go into what the mainstream say about this brother, Abraham Lincoln, who was the first official black president. This is what the black community like to the majority of the black community, this is what they believe in. He's in our black history, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Think about it. He's the only person on a penny. He's on a brown penny backwards. You know what I mean? That go to show you how much He, you know what I mean? He represents the black community backwards, though. You know what I mean? The only coin where he's faced backwards, and he's only worth one cent. But anyway, they like to say that this man freed the slaves. But without any further ado, let's get into it. Don't be upset, yeah. Don't be upset. Don't be upset at me. Don't be mad at me.
Everybody knows Abraham Lincoln. His face is on both the penny and the $5 bill, not to mention Mount Rushmore. He freed the slaves, wore a tall hat, and was assassinated. But it turns out there's a lot more to the 16th president than the results of a quick Google search might show. Here's a look at the untold truth of Abraham Lincoln. Militiaman. Long before he was commander.
Keep in mind, guys, this is not really the untold truth. We're going to get to the untold truth. But we'll let them tell it. We'll let mainstream media, the Jewish media, tell it.
In chief, Lincoln got first-hand military experience in 1832 during the short-lived Black Hawk War. One of 1,500 men summoned by the Illinois militia to fight the Native American chief Black Hawk, the 23-year-old Lincoln never saw combat but was considered a good soldier and was elected captain of his company. That decision ended up saving a man's life. When a Native American man entered camp looking for food, Lincoln's men wanted to shoot him as a spy, but Lincoln wouldn't allow it, vowing to fight any man who tried. Nobody was willing to test Lincoln's renowned strength, and the man was spared. Bartender. Lincoln held quite a few jobs over the course of his life. He was a lawyer, a boatman, a surveyor, a post office clerk, and long before moving into the Oval Office, Lincoln ran his very own bar. Yep, in 1833, he and his militia buddy William F. Berry opened what was then called a grocery, which was a store that also had a tavern license so people could buy and drink alcohol on the premises. Unfortunately, Berry ended up drinking most of the profits and skipped town, leaving Lincoln to pay off their debts alone.
I want you to keep that in mind, guys. Remember that part right there. Abraham, man, he was a winesman. He was a, you know what I mean? He kept it on deck. Kept it on deck.
Cannibal? In 1846, a group of 87 people left Illinois for a trip to California. Stranded for the winter in the snowy Sierra Nevada mountains, the Donner Party turned to cannibalism to survive, with only 45 of the original travelers making it out alive. Strangely enough, it turns out Lincoln actually knew members of the party and even considered joining them. However, his wife, Mary Todd, was pregnant at the time, while Lincoln himself was just getting into politics. So they decided to stay behind, though Mrs. Lincoln was among those present to send them off when the Donner Party left Springfield, Illinois, on their ill-fated journey. Crazy. Inventor. If you want to stump your pals in a trivia contest, ask them who the only president to ever hold a patent was. Yep, it's Lincoln, who among his other pursuits was also an inventor. After a series of boat trips that wound up with his boat getting stuck on sandbars, Lincoln designed a system of inflatable chambers that you could use to buoy your boat enough to easily lift it off of sandbars if you got stuck. Lincoln got someone to build a working model and took out a patent in May 1849, but luckily for the nation, his invention failed to catch on, and instead of becoming a world-famous inventor, he wound up putting his creative brain to work in the White House. Lawyer. Before jumping into the national spotlight, Lincoln was probably best known for defending William Duff Armstrong in an 1858 murder trial. Armstrong was accused of killing James Press Metzger, and things weren't looking good for Duff because a witness named Charles Allen swore he'd seen Armstrong and an associate beat Metzger to death. Lincoln pointed out, however, that Allen's eyewitness testimony had a fatal flaw. The murder had taken place.
Keep in mind, guys, this is what they want us to believe about our history. Remember, they tell us how to think, how to walk, how to talk, what our history is, you know what I mean, how we're feeling, you know what I mean? Remember, this is what Kanye talking about right now, guys. This is what Kanye talking about, the fake history. This is what they want us to believe about this man. Stick around. We're going to get into what I need you to understand about this man.
Place at 11 p.m., but Allen said the moon was big and bright enough for him to have seen every detail of the murder, even from his vantage point 150 feet away. Lincoln shot this down by providing the court with several copies.
So keep in mind, Lincoln was a lawyer. He was a lawyer. The motherfucker was an actor. The motherfucker was everything. He was a star. He was your modern day star. Goddamn. He was a hell of a nigga.
Of a farmer's almanac showing that at 11 o'clock on the night in question, the moon was only in its first quarter and would have been on the horizon, not overhead. So there was no way Allen could have seen what he claimed. The jury agreed, and Armstrong walked away a free man thanks to Lincoln's ingenuity. Fugitive. When Lincoln was elected president, he made a highly publicized journey from Springfield, Illinois to the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. for the inauguration. Along the way, though, Detective Alan Pinkerton, who was in charge of Lincoln's security detail, uncovered a plot to assassinate Lincoln during a stopover in Baltimore to catch a connecting train. Pinkerton quickly devised a tricky scheme to sneak Lincoln through Baltimore. First, he secretly changed the itinerary so Lincoln arrived at 3:30 in the morning instead of midday. He also disguised Lincoln as a random envelope.
Why would we stick the label fugitive on him though? Like I mean, I get it. We want everybody to get behind this man and look at him and worship him. But why would you stick fugitive on him? He got a hell of a background so far. You don't need the fugitive label on him. You know what I mean? He ain't one of us.
Planting female agent Kate Warren in disguise as Lincoln's sister to keep watch over him while they rode undercover in plain sight. And when the train finally did arrive in the dead of night, rather than risk Lincoln getting off, Pinkerton hooked the train car to a team of horses and actually drove the whole thing through town, then hooked it up to the new train and sent the president on his way. When the ruse was exposed, Lincoln was widely mocked in the media. But hey, the assassination attempt was foiled, so whatever works. Target. Everyone knows that Lincoln was eventually assassinated by John Wilkes Booth in April 1865. But Lincoln actually wasn't the only target. In fact,
that's what we're going to focus in on tonight, guys. We're going to focus in on the assassination. Was that another one of those fake joints? You know what I mean? We seen them. That's what we do over here. If y'all new over here, this is what we do best. We unravel the fuckery. You know what I mean? Because how you gonna be able to creep me in a movie theater? How the fuck you get guns in a movie theater and you get that close to me in a movie theater? But we got intelligence that knew they was gonna assassinate me and got me up out of there. They transferred me in these trains and all this shit. But you get got in a movie theater? Acting? Drama? Take one? Y'all be woke, guys. Y'all be woke.
Booth and his co-conspirators had planned to murder Vice President Andrew Johnson, Secretary of State William Seward, and General Ulysses S. Grant. The man sent to kill Johnson changed his mind and spent the night drinking, while the assassin who went after Grant was foiled by a locked door. Seward, on the other hand, only survived the murder attempt by sheer luck. After former Confederate soldier Lewis Powell burst into Seward's home, wounding 7 people with his sword, he stabbed Seward several times. However, the Secretary of State had recently injured his neck in a coach accident and was wearing a metal brace, which deflected the knife. Booth ended up being shot to death while 4 of his co-conspirators, including Powell, were hanged for treason. Symbol. After his tragic and untimely death, Lincoln set off on one of the weirdest train rides in U.S. history. In order to give the American people a chance to grieve their dead leader, Lincoln's corpse was sent on a 1,600-mile train journey from Washington, D.C. to Springfield, Illinois. Along the way, the train stopped several times for funeral processions, and Lincoln's corpse was set up for public display so mourners could gaze on his decaying body. Perhaps the weirdest part, though? Lincoln...
Guys, this is one of the first circus funerals right there. One of the first ones where they paraded around the town and shit. And if you notice, a lot of black celebrities, fallen black celebrities, they do that. They parade. Biggie had a big old circus funeral.
Lincoln's body was accompanied on the trip by the body of his 11-year-old son, Willie, who had died 3 years earlier from typhoid fever. Prize. After Lincoln's ghoulish goodbye tour, the president was laid to rest at the Oak Ridge Cemetery in Springfield, Illinois, inside a mausoleum guarded by a simple padlock. In 1876, a Chicago gangster named Big Jim Kennelly came up with a truly crazy idea. He would kidnap the president's corpse and hold it for ransom. He hoped to get a cool $200,000 plus the release of his pal Benjamin Boyd from prison. Kennelly sent a couple of his goons to steal the body, but they made the mistake of bringing a buddy of theirs who also happened to be a Secret Service informer. He tipped off the feds, and after the corpse snapping attempt was foiled, the whole gang was rounded up and arrested. In order to protect the president's body from further shenanigans, he was reburied in a secret location. In 1901, though, they finally laid him to rest back inside the tomb that bears his name alongside his wife and 3 of his sons.
All right, guys, we're going to keep it rolling. We ain't going without any interruption. We're going to just keep it moving right on into the next joint. You know what I mean? And that's what they want us to believe about him. You know what I mean? It mixed in a little bit of the truth, You know what I mean? Heresy, guys. They mixing a little bit of the truth and then a whole lot of agenda. You know what I mean? To keep us entertained. But here it goes, yo. Guys, keep in mind, YouTube, yo, this is fair use. This is for educational purposes only. You know what I mean? I got permission for the content. Salute the hoax. Salute the A-Lux. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna play with them. Guys, if you need to get out of here, get out of here now.
We're the devil.
You know what I mean? If you need to go, go now. You know what I mean? If you believe in Martin Luther King, if you believe in Malcolm X, if you believe in all of these leaders, so-called leaders that did nothing for us, but entertain us and inspire us, you know what I mean, to look for new leaders, then you need to go now, guys, because it's not going to be the live for you. That's not what we do over here. We know that it's only one leader of us, and his name is God. You know what I mean? Whatever, you know what I mean? See how I said that? Because, you know, I don't even be over here repping for Jesus Christ, guys. I don't play those games. You know what I mean? I don't play. Whatever your God is, let it be that. As long as it ain't Sky Zaddy, I don't give a hell what it is. As long as you have a God. It could be Muhammad, Buddha. I'm not here to knock that. You know what I mean? Some of y'all niggas, y'all God is passport. And I'm not here to knock that. You know what I mean? As long as you have something that ain't a coochie, as long as you have something that ain't a man, ain't penis, ain't money, I'm all right, sis. That's a fact, T.O. You got to channel that God within. He carved us in the image of him. So that means he is in all of us. So I don't know. We got to carry ourselves like him. That's the hard part. Niggas want to be actors. Niggas want to carry ourselves like these worldly, goofy niggas. You know what I mean? When he said carry ourselves like him.
We're the devil. If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. And I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whisper.
This the blueprint, guys. This the blueprint. Remember where you heard it first. You know what I mean? Come and get me, YouTube. Come and get me, motherfucker. Yeah. We only want the truth. The truth is our love language over here.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. And I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I'd set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve. Do as you please. I would confide that what's bad is good.
Democracy. That's the democracy.
What's good is square. Well, I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make lurid literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations.
They did it. They did it. They did it.
War with themselves until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol.
Y'all see the media fanning the flames? Why do they show us what they show us? Why do they show us exactly, specifically what they show us? Why do they show us the man laying dead in the street black though? Why not show us it's a white man laying dead in the street too that the cops killed too? But why not show us that? Why show us only the black ones? You know what I mean?
Of Christmas, a bottle. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be.
You should view this video as a investigation. I will discuss only the issues that have the greatest bearing on the immediate question, leaving you with issues to ask your favorite historian. To unravel more recent events, you have to unravel some of the events of the past. They're all the same.
And y'all know we specialize at that, guys. We specialize at it. Know what I mean? We done went over a few of them. We ain't missed one yet, guys. So y'all good. Know what I mean? Y'all do. Y'all already know. Check out the library. Check out the video library on the channel.
I have learned to trust my instincts. Once you understand the methods, you could look at events such as the Lincoln assassination with a new and educated eye. If you haven't watched the videos on Tupac, mass shootings, MLK, Malcolm X, and other manufactured events, you may not follow my reasoning here. If you have trouble with my conclusions here, I recommend you study closer to the history of controlled and manufactured events, especially the history of intelligence operations.
And keep in mind, guys, that for YouTube feelings, because you know YouTube be in their feelings, that I had to cut out certain parts of the video, you know what I mean? But if you guys want to subscribe to Hoax Patreon, you'll be able to get the whole video in its entirety. You know what I mean? But for YouTube feelings, niggas gotta cut the parts, because niggas ain't trying to be Alex, what's the name? Alex Jones. Niggas ain't trying to be Alex Jones out this motherfucker. It's for entertainment purposes only. Wink, wink. Goodbreads.
The first red flag that really put me on the right trail was the fact that John Wilkes Booth was an actor. As you probably know, much of the controversy of the Lincoln assassination has centered on Booth from the beginning. Those who have offered alternative theories have almost always started with Booth. We will see that they were not wrong to do so, but we will also see that they never went far enough. Even the most creative and outlandish theories didn't go far enough. The fact that Booth was an actor is the primary clue here. It was admitted but passed over as unimportant. We have seen that all these events featured actors, hence the O.J. Simpson hoax.
The O.J. Simpson murder case was the first true reality show.
Remember, guys, we went over that. We broke that thing down.
A real-life soap opera with a cast of characters who became household names.
You gotta listen to the wording as these people tell their story back, because at the end of the day, it's their story. So they tell their story back. You know what I mean? And listen to the wording. They tell on themselves every time. Peep game.
The cast of characters.
A cast of characters played their part.
In manufactured events, you want actors involved because actors are trained to manufacture events. That is the job of an actor. As in any other job, you hire professionals. The second red flag I found is that the assassination took place in the theater. No one ever looks closely at that. It's a red flag because this is all theater. As with Booth being an actor, like the rest of you, I've never focused on it. History and conspiracy tend to be very complex, while is usually surprisingly simple. Without exception, these other investigators allow themselves to be buried under an excess of information. They soon get lost in media stories. Since the stories were created just for that purpose, we should not be surprised to find—
Exactly. Let me play that back. That's key information there, guys. They need you to buy in. When do we buy in? Guys, you ever notice how you post something crazy educational on YouTube, on Facebook, on these social media apps, and don't get no likes, no traction? But you post some drama, you post some old bullshit, some controversial shit, and they get, like, the people is addicted to the democracy chaos. The chaos of democracy, guys. People is addicted. And this is why. Because our whole history has been faked. You know what I mean? So everything is fake. So real get not respected and the fake get praised. Because all we know is fake shit. Let's get it.
Find them sinking in it, but I will show you a way to pass through without even getting your shoes dirty. Another red flag was this kind of statement. It reads, very few academic historians have studied Lincoln's assassination in any.
And that's crazy. It says very few academic historians have studied Lincoln's assassination in any depth. And that's crazy because I know every other motherfucker that got assassinated, from Malcolm X to motherfucking Martin Luther King to motherfucking John F. Kennedy, have been studied. Like, to this day, they talk about it and chop it up and talk about it again. So Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe, ain't his shit ain't get studied in depth? Yeah, miss me with the bullshit. Allegedly.
I think you will agree that is astonishing. It is the indication of a successful cover-up, and a cover-up is of course indication that what we have been told is not true. Why would historians avoid studying or writing about these? Isn't that what historians are supposed to do? Apparently not. It is amazing the amount of current propaganda in support of this very old event. There is a lot of new misdirection on the assassination on the internet, and not just on history or encyclopedia sites. If you type in just about any question regarding the event, you get pages and pages of new lies, as if this event just happened. This leads an investigator to ask several questions. Why are living people spending so much time and effort retelling the old story? Why is it so important to keep the propaganda fresh and up to date on the Lincoln assassination?
Why?
As I have said, the more someone tries to convince you of door number 1, the more seriously you should look at door number 2. When that person is telling you things that don't make sense, double down. If that person...
Remember, guys, 15 signs you're being manipulated. Go back to that list if you need to, guys. But mainstream media, mainstream TV, television, radio,
person has any connection to the government, immediately invest heavily in door number 2. Another red flag was the description of the assassination by Walt Whitman. Not many people know that Whitman gave a series of lectures in 1870.
Salute to Walt Whitman. They got a store, they got a mall, actually, out in New Jersey. You know what I mean? Salute to y'all. Y'all already know. Squad out there. Walt Whitman, salute. But y'all found it? That's a dirty motherfucker, yo.
89 through 81 called it.
Again, guys, we got to skip ahead for YouTube feelings.
Very strange, as I think you will admit. But why would the be muffled? This was a theater. It should have echoed. Theaters are not built to muffle sound, are they? Everyone in the audience would have heard a shot from the president's box. Booth should have had 10 men upon him in an instant. We are told in other variations of the story that Booth fired during loud laughter from the audience, after a joke on stage. But in 1879, Whitman doesn't have it that way, despite being a writer, living through the event, making notes, and revising them often. As with current manufactured events, they can't get their story straight. That part of the story should have been very easy to confirm, since they are supposed to have had a theater full of witnesses. If it was the standard story in 1879, why didn't the paid propaganda writer Whitman have it in his revised notes? Why would Booth jump down to the stage? Surely, to avoid capture. It would have been far easier and wiser to retreat behind the curtain of the box and flee down the back corridor. On stage, with a twisted ankle or broken leg, Booth should have been a sitting duck, both for men from the audience and for men on stage or backstage. But
yo, for those of you that's just now tuning into the channel, just now tuning into the video, into the live stream, we are going over, we're breaking down, we are researching the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the first Obama. Yeah, the first Obama. Yeah.
But unworried by that fact, Ruth pauses to address the audience and hold up a knife. He just the president with a not a knife.
With a knife. With a knife. With a knife, y'all. With a fucking knife. You are you kidding me? This is what you want to sell our people? This is what you want to sell our people? I'm gonna let y'all believe it though.
Where did the knife come from? Are we expected to believe he just jumped 15 feet down with a large knife in his hand or pocket? You would say the knife was in a sheath. No, the story is Booth fought with Major Henry Rathbone, who was also in the box with the Lincolns, wounding him with the knife. Two problems there. One, try jumping down 15 feet with a large knife in your hand. Struggling with Rathbone should have taken some time. With the woman screaming, and a fight with Rathbone, everyone in the theater should have been alerted to the president's box. There would have been at least a dozen men at the base of the box, just waiting for Booth. He would have leaped right into their arms, not onto a deserted stage. He is said by a famous witness to have passed a note to an usher to be let into the box. So, speaking to the usher, Booth was carrying a large stick, and a large knife. So I guess, in order to get into the presidential box with at least 3 weapons, all you need to do is pass a note to an usher. So I guess the president travels with no security during the Civil War.
Again, guys, remember, I told you to remember that part where the guy got him up out of there when they got the assassination threat, and they was able to get him up out of there, and they changed them in all of these cars and train cars and all that shit. So you mean to tell me, brothers, you mean to tell me where that was at? They only had one dude there. One dude? Come on now.
Yeah, right.
Well, you look at this asshole here. Look at this dummy,
story.
yo. One more time, yo, for the dummy.
Not onto a deserted stage. He is said by a famous witness to have passed a note to an usher to be let into the box. So, speaking to the usher, Booth was carrying a large stick, and a large knife. So I guess, in order to get into the presidential box with at least 3 weapons, all you need to do is pass a note to an usher. So I guess the president travels with no security during the Civil War. Yeah, right. The story gets stupider. Stops to make a speech. Yeah, right. He stops to speak Latin, quoting Brutus from Julius Caesar. And where did Lincoln's guards go? To the lobby for cotton candy. Do you really think the president traveled in public during the Civil War without guards? Think about it. This reads like a bad script, not like real history. Things happen like this only when they are staged. We find more confirmation of all this when we look at what happened to Ford's Theater right after the assassination. From Wikipedia. Following the assassination, the United States government appropriated the theater, with Congress paying Ford $100,000 in compensation, and an order was issued forever prohibiting its use as a place of public amusement. Between 1866 and 1887, the theater was taken over by the U.S. military and served as a facility for the War Department. That should look familiar, given what we know of more recent manufactured events. Remember how they closed, tore down, or confiscated all the crime scenes after 9/11. Remember how they tore down Sandy Hook Elementary after the alleged Remember how they stripped and rebuilt the BMW Tupac was allegedly in? This is how it is done.
Yo, this is information, guys. This is information. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. I'm gonna play that back. That's key.
The war without guards. Think about it. This reads like a bad script, not like real history. Things happen like this only when they are staged. We find more confirmation of all this when we look at what happened to Ford's Theater right after the assassination. From Wikipedia. Following the assassination, the United States government appropriated the theater, with Congress paying Ford $100,000 in compensation, and an order was issued forever prohibiting its use as a place of public amusement. Between 1866 and 1887, the theater was taken over by the U.S. military and served as a facility for the War Department. That should look familiar, given what we know of more recent manufactured events. Remember how they closed, tore down, or confiscated all the crime scenes after 9/11. Remember how they tore down Sandy Hook Elementary after the alleged. Remember how they stripped and rebuilt the BMW Tupac was allegedly in. This is how it is done, and it is and always has been a sign of a staged event. The best way to deter any private or real investigation is to close or destroy the crime scene. In the Lincoln story, they did both. First, they closed it, then bought it, then renovated it many times. This all but prevented any later analysis.
They think we dumb, son. They think we dumb. I tell you, I stay emotionally intelligent, bro. You already know what time it is. Love y'all.
Which brings us to the next question no one ever asks. Why wasn't Booth fighting in the war? You will say the war was mostly over by 1865, but I mean from 1860 to 1864. Why wasn't Booth fighting for the South if he was so pro-Confederate? An even better question is this. If he was in his 20s and living in the North and able-bodied, why wasn't he drafted for the North? Do you think actors were given exemptions? Actors get draft exemptions because actors also have hidden agendas.
My hero was a spy, Asia Booth Clark, John Wilkes' sister.
He had been a spy.
Yeah, gotta cut it.
We are told Booth was let into the box because he was a famous actor. But even so, according to the mainstream story, he was a famous actor known to be a raving enemy of the Union. If Lincoln's Secret Service had a no-fly list, Booth would be at the top of it. So the standard story makes no sense. It contradicts itself in 100 places. Once on stage, Booth is now holding off every man in the theater with him. Not one man in the theater has a sword during the Civil War. Not one man knows how to confront a single man with a knife. Remember, Booth was known as an actor, not as a decorated soldier. In other words, he was not a fighter. If you ask any soldier, are you afraid to take on an actor? I promise you he will say, no.
You dirty bitch! Look what you've done to my peonies! They're marigolds!
Good God, I think she's right. They are marigolds.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one! Eat and tyranny! Mr. Lincoln, let me go!
So Mrs. Lincoln waits until after Booth has jumped down on stage and delivered his little speech to cry he is president. She doesn't want to interrupt him, I guess. How convenient.
Eat and tyranny! Mr. Lincoln! Mr. Lincoln, let me go!
The strong man rushed the stage, but only after Booth has gone limping off. How convenient. In a real situation, Mrs. Lincoln would have screamed as soon as the first was fired, and would have yelled he has been immediately. Booth could not have escaped from the crowded theater, guard or no guard, but he especially could not have escaped by jumping down onto the stage, breaking his leg, giving the speech. He would have immediately been mobbed, knife or no knife. But this was 1865 during a civil war. 50 men in the audience would have or run him through with a sword before he could get a word out of his mouth. The president's guard, suddenly drawn to the scene after Booth was fired, the killer had time to jump down, wave his knife, say his speech, tie his shoes, adjust his belt, comb his hair, and check his watch before they came bursting and 200 strong. This whole story is really bad, but due to school, we decided to accept it. But we should ask, why were 200 guards waiting outside, ready to burst in altogether? That, by itself, would signal some kind of foreknowledge. Are we expected to believe that 200 guards or police are just playing tic-tac-toe outside the theater, and no one is anywhere near the presidential box or stage inside the theater? If you have any friends in the Secret Service, you should ask them what they think of this story. Ask them if they think Lincoln's chief guard would post 200 men outside the theater and 0 inside the theater. Obviously, the 200 guards were there to burst in and create pandemonium. They didn't want anyone looking closely at the president who wasn't the president. They didn't want audience members or the public outside talking to each other and comparing notes. They didn't want anyone asking questions or answering questions. They wanted to amp everyone up with maximum violence.
Makes sense to me. It kind of reminds me of that I ain't gonna say it, but I know that school joint. That school joint. Yeah, I know everything fake. Everything fake, bro. Everything fake, bro. You know what I mean? Y'all already know. Kind of remind me of that. Then just send them in. Like, wait, hold on. Now y'all gonna come in after the state. Wow, it's just a lot of on that story, y'all. So we gonna be breaking down that one soon. Yes, sir.
Giving them such a case of PTSD that they would believe the news reports telling them they saw things they didn't see. We are given a lame story for the lack of guards inside as well.
Presidential security back then was nothing like it is today. Lincoln generally traveled with 1 or 2 guards, and conveniently on this night, the man who was supposed...
That's a whole lie, as we saw when they told us that, and they wanted us to believe that they transferred this man in multiple train cars to get him away from an attempt assassination. That take more than 1 man. So why is you lying? Why you lie? Why you lie for?
Supposed to be guarding the door to the box, wasn't even there. He left the theater to get a drink with some friends.
We were told the presidential box was supposed to be guarded by a regular DC policeman named John Frederick Parker, and that he wandered off. One regular policeman to guard the president during the Civil War. And who was this one policeman hired to guard the president? During his time as an officer, he was said to have been charged with dereliction of duty and being drunk on duty, sleeping on streetcars while at work, and visiting a brothel.
I really needed a new roof in my home. New York Roofing got me that roof. And the best thing is,
Parker was typically reprimanded for these acts, but never fired. After the Parker was charged with neglect of duty and tried on May 3, 1865, but no transcripts of the case were kept. The complaint was dismissed on June 2, 1865. In spite of leaving his post the night Lincoln was shot, Parker was still assigned to work security at the White House. That is the story they decided to go with. What they do is lead with a tidal wave of lies. Also, you should know this, prior to the war, Pinkerton developed several investigative techniques still used today. Among them are shadowing, surveillance of a suspect, and assuming a role, undercover work. When the Civil War began, Pinkerton served as head of the Union Intelligence Service during the first 2 years, foiling an assassination plot in Baltimore, Maryland, while guarding Abraham Lincoln on his way to Washington, D.C. His agents often worked undercover as Confederate soldiers and sympathizers to gather military intelligence. Pinkerton served on several undercover missions as a Union soldier using the alias Major E.J. Allen. He was succeeded as Intelligence Service Chief by Lafayette Baker. The Intelligence Service was the predecessor to the U.S. Secret Service. So Lincoln was not guarded by one drunken policeman. He was guarded at all times by the Intelligence Service, just like the president is today. Given that, the mainstream story completely falls apart. Why would the Intelligence Service allow Booth into the box? Even more to the point, why would they lie about it later, trying to convince you Lincoln was not guarded? What we have seen already is a series of wildly laughable red flags, all of them pointing directly at a stand down. Just as the military stood down on 9/11, failing to launch any jets or follow any normal protocol, Lincoln's Guard stood down on April 14, 1865.
Allegedly.
We have seen a staged event in the theater. Since none of it could have happened this way, we must assume it didn't. As with all these other manufactured events, what happened here happened only in a completely controlled environment. The prepared story was planted later, and a fair number of people were hired to tell stories to corroborate the event. Notice this witness reading his lines. The witnesses were fake, and the was fake. You will say, even if the story and witnesses were planted, the would have been real. You have shown us no evidence that the was fake. But that's not true. The fake story is itself a strong indication that the was fake. We will see a lot more evidence for the later. Before we get there, you should already be seriously questioning the murder. Look at it this way. The murder is the event. The murder is the central fact and the only important fact. All the rest is just there to support that. We could change all the other facts and it wouldn't really matter. What I mean is, those who ran the event don't really care whether you believe Booth did it or whether Booth was later. They don't mind if you speculate on any of those things or all of them. In fact, they are quite happy for you to speculate on all those things, because if you are speculating about those issues, you are looking closely at itself. But they do care that you believe Lincoln was Lincoln was said to have been shot at point-blank range in the back of the head. We have no photos of Lincoln's body, except for this one, which didn't come out until 1952. And it can easily be You will say, but if that is true, why can't they admit it now? Why is the government perpetuating the lie? Wouldn't people be relieved by the truth? Isn't a fake better than a real at this distance in time? You would think so, but you can see that it would be very hard for the government to admit to a lie of this magnitude. They would have to admit that all the history books were fake for 150 years. And this would incriminate all those who fake the history, including Walt Whitman and many thousands of other famous people.
And they ain't trying to do that, because we the ones, we the slicksters, we the ones, like the black folks is the one. So we will not dare show these people that we've been the ones behind the, oh, hell no, that's not what the Antichrist supposed to do. They never going to reveal their mask. They're never going to take the mask off.
Would also put into question all the other events of history. The lie is so big, so old, and so far-ranging that those in power feel they have no choice but to continue. It is thought that the entire myth of the United States relies on it. After all, you think Lincoln freed the slaves. That is Lewis Powell, and the photo is tagged Powell in wrist irons.
Look at that photo again, from the photo that the mainstream wanted us to believe. Y'all go back. Y'all go watch this one again. This is worthy of a second watch, guys. Because, you know, you always want to watch shit twice because you never know what you miss the first time you watched it.
Photographed by Alexander Gardner, 1865. Powell is said to be the one who was assigned the killing of Secretary of State Seward, simultaneously with Booth's killing of Lincoln. I'd say that photo looks staged as well. Everything looks too pretty. Here are some other pictures of Powell. I bet some will say, Powell just happened to be even more handsome than the universally acclaimed charmer John Booth. What are the odds of that? Actually, in these manufactured events, it is needed for the course. They are hiring actors, and of course actors are known for their looks. You can also see that they told him, Lewis, look mean for this one. The last pictures were way too sexy. Here are two pictures of Booth. Please note the hand position in that photo, which tells us not only who Booth really was, but what to think of this event. So who was Powell? Well, for starters, he was an admitted spy. Mainstream sources tell us he was in the Confederate Secret Service, but his story indicates to me another double agent, just like Booth. He was clearly working for the Union in this faked assassination, working mainly as another actor, which would make him Union Secret Service, not Confederate. We have plenty of evidence for this, since he traveled across battle lines many times, including an escape from a POW camp in Baltimore to rejoin the Virginia Cavalry. But I would suggest to you that Powell didn't escape from that POW camp in Baltimore. He was recruited for intelligence there. He was allowed to escape by higher-ups. The story that he later became Confederate intelligence is just a cover story. What about the burial of Lincoln? The first strange thing we read is that when Lincoln's body was returned to Illinois, Mrs. Lincoln didn't travel with it because she was still too distraught. Instead, she returned to Illinois about a month later.
Wait a minute. So if I die, Miss Goodbread don't come to my funeral? Like, she don't even travel? She don't go? Like, never. That's crazy. Like, why? Why? Wait, hold on. Let's go.
This means that Lincoln's own wife missed his funeral and burial. A funeral still called the greatest funeral in the history of the U.S. And remember, while she was packing at the White House, her guard was John Frederick Parker, the drunken policeman who left the theater to go next door. You honestly find any of that believable? Recent widows are always distraught, but they always manage to attend the funeral and burial, unless they have been seriously injured themselves. The only reason I can imagine why she wouldn't attend is if her husband was never there. She knew this funeral and burial were fake, so why bother attending? She had better things to do.
I agree. We're not going to complicate common sense.
We're told that hundreds of thousands of mourners viewed the funeral as it processed across the country in late April, but all they viewed was the coffin. They didn't view the corpse directly, since they weren't allowed to get close enough to see it. So, as with these other manufactured events, you have thousands of witnesses to nothing. They think they see, but they do not see. Also an old Mason fashion, they always
wouldn't want to talk about the Jews, but I got
the problem comes up if we look more closely at Lincoln's medical attendants right after the shooting. Did they take Lincoln to a hospital? No. Curiously, they just moved him across the street to a private home.
You should get him to the White House. He'll die if you're moving that far. Somebody find a house, the nearest bed.
He was a
So wait a minute. I'm the president. I get stabbed, shot, and motherfuckers take me to the next door neighbor house. They don't take me to the finest hospitals. What in the world? First of all, they got me with a one drunken guard. What the? Wait, are y'all trying to kill me? Let's go, guys. Very entertaining, guys. Are y'all not entertained, guys? Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Tell a friend and tell a friend, bro. I'm not the best. I'm just the realest, yo. I'm underrated now, but it's going down. God got me. I guarantee you that, guys. Let's get it.
attended by a young army surgeon who happened to be in the audience at Ford's Theater. None of that makes any sense. They misdirect you, but I ask, why wasn't he taken to a hospital? Washington, D.C. was simply filled with hospitals. There had been major battles in central and eastern Virginia for many months, and of course, the most eastern of those areas are only a few miles from D.C. So all the hospitals in D.C. were still fully functional at that time. There were 56 hospitals in D.C. during the Civil War, as you can see here. We are told the doctors on hand didn't want to subject the president to a bumpy carriage ride. But that is more misdirection. Since these facilities were so close, the president could have been carried by hand on a stretcher by 2 men. No carriage ride was required. We are told the president was taken across the street to Peterson's guest house, but since there were no operating facilities there, that is completely illogical. In the real world, Lincoln would have been hand-carried on a stretcher to the nearest and best medical facility, and the top surgeons in D.C. would have been rushed over to attend. Since that didn't happen, we know again that the story is fiction. There is misdirection on this.
Great point, T.O. Great fucking point. This is why when you living, you gotta live for yourself, because you're gonna die alone. So why the fuck niggas be living for other people is crazy to me, yo. Let's get it.
This point to this day. If you type in the question, the entire audience could have been planted. Just tell anyone who wants a ticket that night that the show is sold out. Then partially fill the theater with military and government personnel, especially intelligence people, and run whatever event you like. To fool people on the street, you may wish to actually have guards running in and clearing the place. You may wish to have a body carried across the street to Peterson's, and so on. But all the rest can be achieved with a pen. You just write it down, send it to the newspapers, and the job is done. There was no murder. If you aren't convinced, or at least you're starting to look at this story with a critical mind, if not, I doubt you ever will. Some will ask, what happened to Booth? Did he escape from the barn? Well, no. No one was ever banker. As I said earlier, note the hand in the vest. The hidden hand being the sign of the Jews or Phoenicians. And here is a strange old illustration. That is a period illustration, as you can tell from the style. We may assume it is meant to depict that the devil made him do it. However, do you notice anything strange? How about the exaggerated Jewish nose on the devil? We either have some anti-Semitism going on there, or the artist is trying to tell us something. And what is the
exactly, guys? Teachable moment.
Devil wearing? Are those Jewish robes of some sort? We see the full feather, which is a Phoenician feather. Looks a bit like a peacock feather, you will say, but look up Phoenician feather. You will find a direct match. And Booth is once again hiding a hand, this time behind him. I also send you to Spielberg's film Lincoln, where, just before it is announced that Lincoln has been shot, a strange little phoenix rises from the stage for no apparent reason.
I need y'all to go back to the Mike Tyson video that we did. You know what I mean? Where we talked about that. We talked about that. We're not going to get into that on this video, but we talked about that already.
Curates on the beat.
We spoke on the Phoenix in our Tupac chapters. Head there for more. I think you will admit that this theory is actually much less extreme than most other alternative theories of Lincoln's death, because the mainstream story was seen to be full of holes from the beginning. The alleged assassination has generated
All right, guys, and that'll conclude our daily good bread. You know what I mean? I hope you guys got the message, guys. I hope you guys got the message. You know what I mean? Fake history, guys. You want to intake the truth. You want to get and do the research. Don't just listen to stuff. Now, I mean, you're going to hear a lot. People going to come at you like if they know. And if they ain't getting their information from the basic instructions before leaving Earth, guys, then they don't know. They're only assuming. You know what I mean? And if they losing, guys, in life, if they suck at life, the life game, then how can they tell you to win? You know what I mean? How can they teach you to win? All they can do is manipulate you for your money, guys. They can't teach you to win if they fucked up in life, if they ain't got the things that God give people. You know what I mean? And stop thinking about money all the time. It ain't got a goddamn thing to do with money. Start looking at these people's God-given blessings, guys. These people that you taking information from. Remember, I told you on the last live. See how they all connected, guys. Welcome to the School of Common Sense. They all connected, guys. You know what I mean? Remember, I told you on the last live, the people you worship, the people you hold high in high regard, those are the people you end up becoming. Those are the people you take on their character. So if they fucked up individuals, you go and you worship them, guess what? You're going to become a fucked up individual. If all the information you take in is from a fucked up individual, is from a bitter individual, is from a hurt individual, guess what you're going to become, bro? You're going to become a hurt individual, bro. You know what I mean? We live in a gynocracy, guys, where the women, their vote count because, you know, they're the majority. You know why women are the majority, guys? Women are the majority because men went to war. Men were men, and men died. A lot of men died. That's why women are the majority, guys. If you didn't know, that's why it's more women on this earth than men. Because men went to war. Men were always builders. Men were always fighters. You know what I mean? Men were always riskers. You know what I mean? And men were always living in their natural, their God-given nature, their innate nature, guys. All right? And that's why it's more women on this earth than men. And with that said, guys, wrap up, strap up, do not play with your life, guys. You know what I mean? Modern women and simps, they love fake. They love fake history because everything is fake. Everything they taught, it's been woven and edged in their cloth to be fake. You know what I mean? Because their history is fake. Their foundation is built off fakeness. So this is why modern women and simps love fake history, guys. You know what I mean? They can't help it. They can't help it. Guys, word up. Wrap up, strap up. Do not play with your life. I'm going to head on to the court right now. I see y'all in court. Guys, I don't want to promise nothing, but I'm on East Coast time. You know what I mean? So right now it's 7:47. I'm going to definitely rock out in the court. I'm gonna watch the whole joint in its whole duration. But while I'm watching, I might mix down some joint. Aviator Views, yo, we definitely lit. I might. I don't want to guarantee nothing. You know what I mean? I don't want to guarantee nothing. You know, today's SmackDown and shit. So I got like 4 things. I got like 4 monitors right now that I'm watching. But I want to come back and do a period number 2 because these trans gentlemen is getting out of control. And I got some content. And we need to start hashtag snitching on a trending. You know what I mean? We need to start snitching on these trendings because these trans gentlemen is getting out of control and that should be a crime. Shit should be a crime, really. You know what I mean? So I might come back with a live, but if I don't come back with a live, guys, I guarantee you that at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll be having at least 30 minutes of that. You know what I mean? In a short form content piece. You know what I mean? So be looking for that. If I don't come back live, I ain't gonna hold y'all. You know what I mean? But in any event, I appreciate you guys. Much love to you guys. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get this journey bigger and better than ever, yo. All right, guys. You know what I mean? I don't ask for much. I just ask that you pay your school tuition, and you pay your school tuition by hitting that like button, guys. Support the content, guys. Word. I love y'all, man. And I'm out of here on that note, man. We out of here on that note.
For agreeing to do this interview. I know it's a really tough time for you right now, but we really appreciate your time.
Let's do it.
Now, Puff, P. Diddy, how do you want me to refer to you?
You can call me Love.
Okay, let's address the elephant in the room, all the allegations. Are you attracted to men or women?
It depends on my mood, my vibe.
Is it true that you've had sexual relations with Meek Mill?
I can't tell you that.